Hello and welcome back to another episode of LTN Pulse. It's a podcast where we have conversations with LTN staff, missionaries, and high-level volunteers to dig into and discover what we are reading, watching, playing, and experiencing in nerd culture. LTN Pulse is a part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network, and I'm your host, Michael. Lately, I'm so excited to say this on the podcast for reals. What I've been reading in nerd culture is Stephen King's The Dark Tower series. I finished the first book, The Gunslinger, on audiobook on Spotify. But I did it. I did a book.
Nice. You did
a real book this time. I did a book.
And a spooky book.
Yeah, it's good.
For October.
It's quick. It's good. If you have Spotify, it's like under 10 hours, I want to say. It's pretty short, but it's a good one. Definitely PG-17, Stephen King, y'all know. But yeah, recommend it. It's really, really interesting. I'm going to do the other ones. I'm going to dive into that. But it's not just about me. I'm not the only host here. Joined always by my wonderful, beautiful, mustachioed friend.
Whoa, don't give away the
mustachio.
The spoiler alert. Yes. Hello. I am Luke. I have a mustache now. And so if you're just listening to this, you're missing out.
It's just that's gonna be the episode artwork thumbnail is just gonna be a close up,
like clip art of
right there.
It's gonna
below eyes,
an actual close up.
Yes.
So I know I'm not supposed to break in yet because you haven't done any form of introduction. No one knows who I am, but I'm going to break in. My 7-year-old wrote an amazing poem, and it is no joke. It is this: ice cream pistachio gives me a mustachio, and that was his poem, and he actually wrote that amazing.
That is
better than anything I have ever written.
Frame that one. That's beyond refrigerator. That is framed forever on the wall.
So
that's good. Going into the textbooks in 2035.
Yep, I agree. So just want to interject.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to the mysterious man here in a second. But yes, I have a mustache. It's because we had trunk or treat at our church, and me and a bunch of our small group, we were Bob's Burgers, and it was awesome. And none of the kids really cared, but all of the parents were like, "Oh yeah, I love that show." So it was a good time. It was a really good time, and it rained and hailed on us for like 10 minutes. So,
oh man. At least it was only 10 minutes.
Yeah. It was like right at the beginning too. We started at 5 and it happened right at 5. But enough about me. If you guys aren't watching this on the YouTubes, check it out. Come see my mustache. That's all.
Well, today, our guest is another returning guest. He was with us this past, I want to say March. I think you reminded me. Before we were recording, he was with us this past March. He's back again. It is Joe Bragg, LTN staff member. Joe, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what you do with LTN, and then we can dive into what you got going on.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I am just here to deliver poems from my children.
What's the next one?
I don't have any other ones.
Another one. Oh.
That was it. Yeah,
he's still writing it.
He's the only one I remember. It's that good. No, so last time when I came on in March, I was in the role of director of discipleship with and board games. It's a really cool long title. And then now there's been a little bit of transition and all that, and have stepped in as the director of missions. And so really leaning into that and wanting to equip and empower people to go on mission with Love Thy Nerd and go to these conventions and be able to be the hands and feet of Christ and share the love of Jesus with people. So really, really excited about what's going on there. And I mean, other than that, it's still been a lot of learning a lot of the back end stuff with Love Thy Nerd and just trying to get all caught up and be of value and an asset to the team. So that's where I'm at. I mean, that was a super off the cuff, that was kind of answer, but
No, and it's great. It's always good talking about transition and things that are different than last time we spoke in March. And you know,
it's been a lot. Yeah. And again, it's kind of, anytime you transition into a new role anywhere, there's that fire hose stuff, right? And so it's just kind of been a little bit fire hosey, trying to figure some things out and learn And so, walking in new spaces and just getting acclimated and trying to also, with the Christian Board Gamers Facebook group, which I've been running for a number of years, help people see the vision and the mission of what Love Thy Nerd is doing, and just really get people fired up to want to join us on these trips. So yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, it's always encouraging to see that people, they're out there. There's people out there that are believers, that love board games, that love video games, that love nerdy things, that just don't know about LTN or don't get what LTN is and does. And so just seeing last year, me posting in the Christian Board Gamers group saying like, hey, you all should come on this thing, on this mission trip. And I'd get like one comment like, oh, this is cool. And then you post like, hey, what's keeping you from coming on mission with Love Thy Nerd? And like the entire community, just because they know you, are like, oh, well, let's talk about it. And I was like, where were you last year?
Well, but that was great. Like that post actually gave a lot of great insight and a lot, which is leading us to, just engaging the community more and just being able to inform them about who Love Thy Nerd is and what we're doing and inviting them into it. And so love that. And then I think the Christian Board Gamers community is phenomenal. I've been blown away by that group in general, and just the people that are hungry for Jesus and that love board games and others. And so really, really hoping that we can get a fair number of the people in that group on mission. I mean, right now it's about 4,700 people in the group. It'd be incredible if we could get, just even 1,000 people in that group doing it, right? Like, how much of an impact could you make?
Yeah.
And so, but anyone that wants to go, man, I'm excited to walk with people in this. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember when Luke told me that would be, you were going to be moving into that position and that role at LTN. I was like, I love that. That makes I feel like that's such a good fit. It makes so much sense. Like, and I'm super excited to hopefully be going back and hanging out with you again in Tantrum Con next year. But yeah, all the like amazing stuff that LTN does on missions and having that great connection on Facebook is awesome. It's great it's good synergy.
It is good synergy. Yep. And it's by God's grace for sure. But yeah, it's definitely good synergy. Let's just say synergy as many times as we can.
Oh, no.
Synergy.
Yeah, the lights in the behind Luke there as they move, they create a very synergistic vibe with the other lights.
Changing the rules.
Indeed. I mean, the panels on the wall, it's all really great synergy.
It is good synergy, but yeah, you can use any variation of synergy, which the only variation I know would be synergistic. I don't know that there's other ones.
Synergize.
Yeah, synergize, synergistic.
Synergisms.
Nope. It ended there. That was a good bit. It's over now.
Now would be a great time to just ask what you're reading these days.
Yeah. Books. I'm reading books. Oh gosh, this is good. It's good to be in the room virtually with y'all. So I'm actually reading. I've been for the last like probably 2 months or so have been launched into like getting way more in depth and studying finance. I figured I'm 45. I should probably figure some of this stuff out. No, it's always been something there, but I just never really took the time to be like, I'm going to start learning from people. It's way too late in the game, but the way I see it is the only best time now is the only best time to start would be now, right? Because I don't have the past to go back to. I've been reading a book called Earn More, Live More by Shane Sams. And it's really about just kind of online marketing and an online business. But I think it's also very beneficial in the realm of online communication in general, right? And how we communicate and market message. And so as we're even like working through philosophy and like wanting to help people see what Love Thy Nerd is doing, this is very beneficial stuff to me. And so he's done it for a number of years, since I think like 2012. And I actually got to meet him, which was really cool, and sit under some of his teaching for a few days. And just, it was really powerful to me. And so I picked up the book, and so I've been reading that, but I've also been doing a lot of financial articles and podcasts and those kind of things in that realm. And it's been a real benefit for me and my family, as we just, want to honor God with our finances. Shane is a brother in Christ, which is cool. So he's got a kingdom perspective in it, which I love.
Nice.
And just kind of reading in those spaces and really enjoying it. So I've been nerding out on finances. I mean, whatever, anything in there, like from business to real estate to trade to all of it. And it's been good for me. It's just a different type of learning that I haven't really dove headlong into. So
if you could like sum up what he means when he says earn more, live more.
Yeah. His whole thing is really about, like, you kind of almost pick a number that would get you into what you would consider financial freedom. But his whole thing is impact. How can you have the most impact? And so it's not just like, oh, you're financially free, so you can go do whatever you want. His whole thing is what's your number to be like, financially free, but also have freedom to create and generate impact. How do you impact your community and those kind of things? And also based on the idea, like in the Old Testament, where you want to be intentional to leave an inheritance for your children's children. Now, this just isn't spiritual. Like we would say, oh, it's a spiritual inheritance. It's actually, if you look at the context and the whole thing, it's not just spiritual. This is also being intentional to generational, I'll use wealth. That's a loaded term, but to make sure that you're thinking forward. And I think sometimes as Christians, we don't build that way. We don't think forward in that way. And it was very heavily convicting to me over the last couple of years to really be intentional, to pour into my children and give them the lessons that I didn't receive. And also to be thinking about grandchildren and trying to set my family up for success and that kind of stuff. But his big thing is impact. And so I want to be able to, be such a good steward with my finances where I'm actively giving how God is calling me to give. We're called consistently through the scriptures to take care of the poor and the needy and the widows and the orphans. And I want to be able to do that without feeling overly restricted, but simultaneously I say that in a way where we are called to give sacrificially as well. So my giving is, by God's grace, going to remain centered on him, right? Like I'm going to give if he's calling me to do it, whether I have the funds or not, I'm going to give, and we're going to figure this out. But I don't know, just looking for that teaching that I don't have. And also you don't hear a lot about it in the church. We just don't talk a lot about money. Money seems to be this weird taboo. And I'm like, man, there's kingdom-minded people. Like, this is not prosperity gospel by any stretch of the means. Like, that's a complete false teaching. It's none of that. This is about really being a good steward of your finances and learning how to use them as God would call you to. And so it's like I said, I'm very anti-prosperity gospel. So if anyone's listening to this and they're like, I'm a prosperity preacher, or in that, I'm sorry, I'm just not in alignment with that. But outside of it, I do really want to learn how to utilize finances better for the kingdom of God. And so that's just been a passion and a study, and, be able to take care of my family as the husband, as the provider, as the father. That matters. And I want to honor God with my life. And that very much includes my finances.
Yeah.
So that's what he
cool.
means.
No, yeah. I love that. And like, I wouldn't say I'm good with money, but I try to do all the same things. I'm fascinated by it. Our last men's breakfast that we had at our church, there was one of the members of our church just kind of shared some like financial advice and different things. Cause he's like a wealth management guy. So, he'll invest for people and do all sorts of stuff, but he was just speaking into that. And so, it fascinates me. I like it. Budgets are good.
Budgets are good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and again, and not to go complete bunny trail, this is not what we're here for. But again, I think sometimes finances, they become so taboo, and we we don't equip and prepare people. Yeah. And, so again, for me, it's just been something that I'm going to go seek the learning. And thankfully I found Christ-centric people that really want to honor God to actually read their books and pour in. And so, but Shane was a really cool dude, and he's actually, this dude's a board gamer. When he found out that, he said, I told him he kind of called me out in the class and was like, "What do you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm the director of missions with Love Thy Nerd." He said, "What?" Like he's on the stage. He's on the stage. He goes, "What?" And I said, "Well, I'm the director of missions with an organization called Love Thy Nerd, and I go and we take teams of people to go to conventions, and we share the love of Jesus at board game conventions." And he like stops and he goes, "You have the coolest job ever." Right.
Yeah.
I smiled. I was like, I agree. And he goes, "Wait, so like you like board games?" I'm like, "Yep." He goes, "Do you design games?" I'm like, "Yep." And then after he pulls me aside, he's like, "Bro, I love board games. I've been designing a game." And he's like, and he just starts, he
Very
goes,
cool.
he goes, "I'm geeking out. I'm so sorry." He goes, "I've just got nobody to talk to about this." And I'm like,
that's so cool.
I'm like, "Man, I'm excited to just receive this information." He's like, "Let's connect. I want to talk to you more about
amazing.
this." And so it was so good. And it turns out there was a whole bunch of other nerds in this room because people were like, "I love board games. I love board games. Let's talk board games." The lady at my table was like, "I've been designing a game. Like, oh my gosh, this is crazy." So we just,
that's awesome.
It was awesome. It was
that's
so
crazy
cool.
how you can make that connection.
It was so good.
Yeah.
And so, but he was like, "You have the coolest job ever." And I was like, I agree, sir. I agree. But it was pretty rad. So it was cool.
Very cool. Nice. Well, so the last time you were on, do you remember what you said you were reading?
So I think so. Now I could be wrong, but I think I talked about the fact that I was reading the Hunger Games, like the newest edition. And I felt a little embarrassed to say it. And if I'm remembering correctly.
So if I'm remembering correctly, I think you did mention that. Yeah. But I don't have it documented because what you wrote was you're just like reading articles about Marvel and like all this stuff coming out.
Yeah,
and
that
so
makes sense.
I'm guessing, do you still read all that?
No, actually, not nearly as much. Yeah, I know. I'm only reading finance. I have now matured, Luke. I am an adult reading finance articles. I don't
that's why this podcast exists. We just want to see like how different people are and like how they mature.
Yeah, since March, I have now elevated to an actual adult. And no, I honestly, I haven't had the drive, right, and the space. I mean, honestly, I was kind of bummed because I didn't even get to see the Fantastic Four in the theaters.
Oh
and
man,
it's just, I know, super bummed. Like I was just like, you got to be kidding me. But I haven't kept up on a lot of it, and it's just the season, right? There's been so much other stuff. Like I said, transition has brought tons of stuff as I'm transitioning out of Youth for Christ and new roles and all that. So it's like, I mean, honestly, I didn't even get to see the Thunderbolts in theaters. And so I'm kind of playing catch up. And so that's a little bit of a bummer, but
I get it. Before the show, we were talking about how I don't play games anymore. And that's not entirely true, but it's like we all go through seasons and I think right now I have a tiny human living with us and it's like all, it's hard to play a game one-handed. It's not impossible. It's difficult, but it's really easy to just binge watch through Smallville and read articles about the DC universe because James Gunn made me a fan. So but no, I get it. Seasons, man.
Speaking of seasons, I think Joe, what you marked down for what you're watching right now, I'm guessing is the latest season of the Great British Baking Show. I love it, dude. Let's talk about that.
That was the best segue ever.
Okay. So here's the thing. You would like to think that I'd be watching the latest season of the Great British Baking Show, but I am not in the latest season.
Oh, what?
I know. And here's why. This is completely why. So I found out, this is so lame. I found out that on the Roku Live TV that they have a channel that is just dedicated to the Great British Baking Show.
What?
It's just that. Oh my gosh, it's just that. So I literally just turn it on and I watch whatever is on it. So it has like behind the scenes stuff. It has like these master classes. It has like this they call it like Extra Bite, I think, which is like a talk show where they talk to the guests that have been like removed from the show or blah blah. I don't know, removed. It's a really really harsh word. They've been asked to leave. And
They
so it's got all
lost.
this like extra content and they lost. Yeah. All this extra content on it. And so I've just been like watching that. And then I found out yesterday that the Great American Baking Show is like on demand through the Roku. So I'm catching up. I'm on season 1 of that. And so I've just been watching it through the Roku live and don't even have access to the newest season because I don't have Netflix or anything. Right. And so, and I've watched so much Great British Baking Show.
You've just been absorbing it.
Dude, like crazy. Every night, my wife and I just watch whatever's on. She's like, "Didn't we already see this?" I'm like, "I don't care. I'm mesmerized. I want to learn how they make the scones." You know,
Yes,
and
how
so,
you don't get soggy dough, and
no doubt. But I mean, I got because of that. I got to watch the very first season, right?
Mhm.
Like, and it's like so different in its dynamic. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Because like when I first started watching it years ago, you just kind of picked up right where it was at. And then, we ended up not having our Netflix subscription anymore. And then just, again, didn't even think about it. And then found the channel on the Roku and was like, whoa. This changes everything.
Yeah.
And so I've been so good. So I can't even talk to you about the recent stuff, man.
That's awesome though, because I think Hulu has a similar feature where you could just like watch live like shows, but it's not live. It's like reruns of stuff. It's like, you like watching Bob's Burgers. Here's like a bunch of like adult animated series that just plays back to back to back, and you don't get to choose. It's like listening to a radio station. And yeah, that's just so interesting, and I want to try that now because that sounds
it's awesome. Well, but then I found out like the Roku Live, it's got so many, like I just didn't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. It has
like,
so many of these like like these niche channels, bro. Like you can just go on it. So yesterday, we were watching the first season of the first season of the Great American Baking Show, and the guy gets on there, and one of the guys is like, "Oh, what do you do outside of baking?" He's like, "I'm a big board gamer." And then he goes, I play the weird games. And he goes, I play this game that's all about birds. It's called Wingspan. And then they cut to him playing games with his friends. I'm like, let's go, man. We're even infiltrating the baking spaces, bro. Like
in the baking spaces. I love it. Did he make Wingspan themed cake?
No, and I'll be honest, his bakes were far better than I could do, but they were atrocities. Like they were not very good.
Oh no.
But he didn't get eliminated. He didn't get eliminated yet, so he's still in. But
Okay.
I don't see him. I don't see him lasting.
How does the American baking show compare to the British one?
Oh, dude. So I am, that's different. It depends, I think, on the season, right? So like, I like the older seasons. Like I like the two ladies that did like the hosting.
They were so
good.
Like, yes.
So good. Like the OGs, like just classic, like super good. Love them as the hosts. And so I think the British one has changed as those hosts have kind of come in and out. And I will say that the American Baking Show kind of lacks some of the charm, and I don't know if it's just because they're not British. I'm not sure. Maybe like,
most likely.
Like that.
Wouldn't
could
be surprised.
The case.
Instead of a field by a castle, they do it in the Walmart parking lot.
Right. Yeah. No, it's all actually done in England. They just at least that's my understanding of it. Maybe I could be wrong. But it's honestly it's not bad. I guess it's hard because it feels like it's just a carbon copy. Doesn't feel like it's the authentic thing because you're like, no, this is supposed to be British, but okay. But I do like it because they actually focus on like American desserts. You know what I mean? So you kind of have a little bit of a different vibe, and so it's pretty cool. I don't know. They're both good. I mean, it's I think when you're going through the process, it's still enjoyable TV if you're into that kind of stuff, which I am.
Nice.
Well, now I'm hungry. I need some baked goods.
I must have baked goods.
Someone bring me a brownie.
I could tell you this though, if you're actually using ingredients from across the pond, they're going to be far better than the ingredients we have here. So you'll probably feel better. I mean, that's because everything that they're using over there is like natural. Over here, it's all synthetic and illegal in other places.
Dude,
that's a podcast for a different day.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to talk about that, go to the Christian Board Gamers podcast.
Yeah. Right. That's it. We'll do it. Yeah.
No.
We talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, so the baking show, like I've seen episodes. I think Asia was following it at one point, and I watched, episodes here and there. It's nothing I've actually sunk my teeth into. No pun intended.
No,
but
pun totally intended.
Yeah.
Totally intended.
I need to check it out.
Yeah.
I am curious how. So last time you were on, you were watching Star Wars with your boys.
Yeah.
You started with Rogue One.
With Rouge One.
Yep.
Is that?
Yeah.
Did you watch all of Star Wars, or
have you seen the entire?
How far did you get? Did they like it?
Yeah. So
I got a ton of questions.
Yeah, you should. They're good ones. So we got through A New Hope, and we got to The Empire Strikes Back, and my two youngest started getting a little freaked out. I think it just got a little heavy for them. So we paused kind of about halfway through Empire, and they were like, and so we haven't picked it back up yet to finish it out. But I don't know if I mentioned it back in March, but I did have them watch like a Lego, almost like a recap where C-3PO is like telling the narrative of the original trilogy, and it's actually really well done. So they like know the story and everything. And so it's just kind of getting them through some of the darker parts. I think they were like, I'm not really feeling all of this, and Vader's intimidating, and but again, like Rogue One didn't seem to bother him, so I figured they'd be fine, and they weren't having it. So
the ending of Empire is pretty hefty.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah,
the spoilers for
a
very old movie.
Don't say it.
No, I'm not gonna say that. But like,
I'm gonna watch it tomorrow.
Luke's fight with Vader is like, not hopeful or positive, and it doesn't end on a good note either. Like,
no.
So I can definitely see that. Yeah, that being pretty tough.
Dagobah is pretty creepy.
Yep.
Yep.
So I get it.
Yeah.
No, I was just curious.
We will finish it. Yeah, we will finish it. There's no. You better. We won't try. We won't try. We will only do. We will finish it.
Yeah. Next time you're on the podcast, we're gonna have another update. And,
they'll be older, so maybe it'll work. Like, just get.
I think last time too, we talked about like the watch through order for like introducing kids to it, and like starting with Clone Wars and that. Maybe you could try that. That's the first few seasons.
I just jumped them right in, and Rogue One was like, here, let's go into massive war film. All right, check it out.
You didn't start him with episode 1 either?
No, because who would want to do that?
Well, I mean, true.
The crazies.
like Michael, come on,
but
man.
It's more kid friendly. We just all need to watch the previous episode, and then we can just sit through this discussion that's already been hashed. I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Okay, those of you listening, watching, just go listen and watch the first
other one.
Episode where we had Joe on, and we talk about what is the proper order to watch Star Wars.
So don't even finish this episode. Just go to that one. You'll get all the information you need and move on.
Get at us in those comments, not in these comments.
Yeah.
We'll talk about what order to watch this podcast in.
Yeah.
Watch this episode first, then go back and watch Joe's first episode, then watch episodes 1 and 2. Anyway.
100%. This has been very derailed. I've loved it. It's amazing.
No, this is normal. This is so the LTN Pulse.
Yep.
We could talk about what you're playing. You playing any games?
I am
those games
playing
behind
games. You. I was saying that unlike Luke, I get to play my games right now, which is good. Seasons. So man, been playing a lot of Sentry Golem with my family. Dude. We really enjoy it. And I, even my youngest, who's now 6, like he gets it. He understands how to play the game mechanically. Like, oh, all right, cool. I just want to trade in these gems and upgrade these gems to be able to buy the thing. It reminds us a lot of Splendor. You know, and so it plays very well. We play it a lot as a family, which is awesome. Been playing a lot of Mythical Dice, man. Oh man, I love that game. It's a dice trick taking game, but it creates a lot of oohs and ahs, man. It's a lot of I'm gonna bet high because it's kind of like Skull King. I call it Skull King Light, right? Like, we're gonna bid, so it's Minotaur. I threw 2. I should win 2 tricks, but when I roll the dice, they don't roll the way I want them to, and I lose. And it's just a lot of oohs and ahs, but it's a quick game. Plays very fast, very, very fun. So we have a great time with that. Coffee Rush, I don't know if you guys have these are maybe a little obscure, but Coffee Rush is an absolute blast. Game out of Korea, a lot of fun. You're basically just trying to fill orders as a barista, but as you're filling orders, as other people are filling orders, it's adding more cards, and customers start getting unhappy with you, and so you're losing points along the way. You know, it's a really really fun game.
That sounds fun.
It is. No, it's actually, it's high stress. It's funny. It makes you feel like you're actually in a coffee shop, but you're having a really great time. We're having a good time with that. Just yesterday, have you checked out the game? Well, Luke probably hasn't, but the game Ember Heart by Mind Clash Games.
I haven't seen it,
dude.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah,
tell me about it.
It's so good, dude. So I played it for the first time at the Game Changer retreat in Camp Living Waters. Kyle from Grand Con had an advanced copy and got to play the game. And I was like, well, all right, this is awesome. But now you're going to tell me it's going to go on Kickstarter and I'm going to have to wait 1.5 years before I get to play it again. And he's like, no, actually, they were literally going straight direct, to retail. So you could just pick it up. And I was like, let's go. So I immediately ordered it that day. So it is literally if you take How to Train Your Dragon and turned it into a game with Andrew Bosley Art, the guy who did Everdell. That's what Ember Heart is, dude. It is an incredible worker placement game, but it has a bidding type thing. So your places, you have these different common locations and there's slots 1 through 5 on them. And you're actually using different tier levels of workers. So you have these grunts, you have the warden, you have the ranger, and you have the scout, and the specialty ones work on certain spaces and not others. And then you can always send out your grunts to whatever, but you're bidding. So if I want to it's because it's all drafting. So if I want a particular card, I want to bid high. So I'm going to create a party, they call it, and I'm going to put it on the 4 or the 5. So nobody can outbid me or whatever. Right. Yeah. But then you have these dragon companions that open up and unlock these different things. So if you can use your dragon to use less grunts or less hirelings, they say, use less hirelings. And then if you're the first one and you've unlocked certain things, you get to do this other thing. And it's really very fun. Lots of cool decisions to make. We played it with, it was my wife and my oldest, so he's 9. And it's a bit of a heady teach, but once you get everything rolling, it's just a lot of fun. There's a lot of things to manage. But again, How to Train Your Dragon, the whole point is that you have a dragon companion and you're trying to free dragons from poachers. And then you're also gaining other dragons from up this mountain, and you've got these preserves that you're doing, and there's different end game scorings and in game scorings, and these heroes that are there, and they didn't even hide the fact that they used How to Train Your Dragon. You know how a lot of rule books in the rule books they'll make up a player name, the player that they used, her name was Astrid, and they're like, Astrid does this, and I'm like, you guys, I love it. They're not even hiding it. Yeah, right. Well, because it's not in the game as a character, it's just that's their mock avatar in it, right? And before I even saw that, we're sitting there when we were playing at the Game Changer, I was like, guys, this is How to Train Your Dragon too. That's what this is. And they're like, oh yeah, totally. And then we're looking through the rule book and it said Astra, and I was like, yeah, they're not even hiding it. But the game is absolutely fantastic. And I say that I like games. I play a couple of games I don't like, but if I say a game is fantastic, for me, that's a high mark. I'm like, this game is absolutely fantastic. Man. If you're a board gamer, you like good decision spaces, you like great player interaction, pick this game up. You will not be sad about that at all. It's a beautiful looking game. Yeah. Bosley's art is just phenomenal. It's so well designed. It's just a lot of fun. The rule book's a little bit chunky to get through. It's a lot of text.
Sure.
but once you play it and you kind of catch the loop, it's not overcomplicated. Then it's just a matter of strategy. But it's so much fun.
It looks
great
I'm
game.
looking at it on BGG right now.
Yeah, cool.
And
I would
if you like
suggest
it, I'm sure I will like it.
And it's not like as expensive as you think it would be. I expect
I was just going to say that
a bit more than what it is. It's sold out, but like
not surprised.
It's affordable for like the quality of game that you get. Like, oh my gosh.
Well, I'll say this: if it remains sold out, I'll bring it with me to Tantrum Con. Like I will bring it so y'all can play it. Because that'd be the next time I'd see y'all. But yeah, well, I agree. The price point was not bad at all. I think it was like I got it. It's like 30. Is it 35 still or 39? Something
39.
Like that, 39. Yeah. And so like when I did it in the pre-order. So I also got this like promo pack, which gave me a couple extra wooden pieces. But honestly, just the base game itself is beautiful components, 100% solid. Tons of fun. Super good. It's definitely clocking in high on like I don't want to say game of the year, but man, it's up there. Lot of fun. I don't have a lot of negative things to say about it.
I'm told.
Yeah, it's so good. And then another one that Luke told me I couldn't talk about because I didn't write it down on the sheet of paper. I'm talking about it anyway. Is a place for all my books. Been playing that a bunch too. Fantastic game. I'm not an introvert, so I tell people I have to role play when I play that game because the game, the game itself is built for introverts and book collecting, which I can get into some book collecting. That's fine. But this idea, but it actually was really eye opening to me because in the mechanic of like your currency is social battery, and I to actually have to spend my social battery to go out actually kind of like hit me where I was like, this is real for people. And I mean, not to like get all serious and like Jesus juke the conversation a little bit, but that's what it did to me. Cause I was like, man, like, I don't think that way. Like going out into public does not drain my battery. Going to a store doesn't drain my battery. If anything, these things fill me up. Right.
Yep.
And so actually having to spend my social battery to go do something in town thematically, as an extrovert, it actually like kind of hit me in a different way. Like I hear people say that all the time. I have tons of introverted friends. I think you think to some degree you understand it. I used to be much more introverted than I am now, but even still, my social battery was always charged by people. I like, and so I was just maybe a quiet extrovert for a little while, but it's like this idea of like, man, like this costs me something to go into town. It actually really spoke to me in a different way. So the game had some power. I did like a 3-minute devotional on it that I do these like reels and I posted it and it because it impacted me that much where I was like, man, and then I wanted the video to be encouraging to our introverted brothers and sisters in Christ that there's place for them, that God has uniquely designed them and that they're loved and that they have purpose. And because I think, sometimes people can get caught into like, I'm an introvert, so I'm not doing this or I'm not doing that. Either way, different topic, but it really did speak to me. And that game is very well done. The only thing I will say is that it claims to be a cozy game. In my mind, and Luke, you may beg to differ on this. I don't know. I don't find that game cozy at all outside of its theme. That game is it's puzzly. Yeah. Like when I think, all right, maybe I'm wrong here, but when I think cozy game, I tend to think like maybe like one step above activity, right? Like a Gentle Rain is a cozy game. You know what I mean? Like that game is like, all right, cool. I'm just drawing tiles and placing them on the thing. It's like, it's like a step. It's cozy. It's calming. It's like, this game is like, bro, I'm stressing out because I got to get my orange books on top of this in order to do this to get that. It's I guess very, if you very find puzzles
cozy, but I guess it depends on your definition. I think they're just saying it's not like people. You could make that competitive, like you could.
Heck yes.
I don't think they say to, because you have a hand of like little projects. I don't know if that it's not public information, but I've always just had mine out. Like, so you could. There's times where if that information was out on the table, you could like hate draft and like be competitive and be like, oh, I know you're chasing after blue books, so I'm going to like take all of them that are out right now and stuff like that. But like, that's never happened in the multiple times I've played. And it's usually been a good time. Like, I would say it's cozy because like people that do want to play that, like, do mostly relate to that introvertedness. What are you reading there?
No.
He's got
Listen, the podcast
out.
is just it's just taking a chance. Like, no, this is the cozy game of gathering, organizing, and admiring good books. All right, like it's selling it this way. And so again, when I sat down to, I can't even put that back in there. When I sat down to the table to play this game, I am thinking that this is going to be a cozy game of gathering, organizing, and admiring good books. What I didn't think was that this was going to burn my brain and make me feel like I like walked away from like I needed a PhD to play this. Now, again, it's simplistic. I love the theme. It's cozy in its theme. It's not a hard loop to pick. But again, some of these objectives that you're trying to like, because I want to complete the objectives because they're in front of me. And I'm like, bro, like this requires like such strategy. Right. And again, I guess when I think cozy game, I don't think that. But you're probably right. Like I think thematically, yes, nailed it. Do I think that they just like totally locked in and we're making this introverted game? Yeah, nailed it. Does it do like the solo mode? I'm sure feels super cozy, except it's your rival. It's your rival. There's nothing cozy about that.
Cozy
at all. And so the rival is like outdoing you and you're trying to like, and I'm just like, that's not cozy. But again, thematically, yes, I just think that the selling of that as a cozy game feels so weird to me. But I understand your point too. Like, you're not hate drafting. It could absolutely be that. I'm sure people do that. Thankfully, I haven't experienced that either. Because most people are preoccupied on what they have to do. They're not necessarily looking at what you're doing, or they can't really figure out what you're doing necessarily. Because the way the books are all laid out, I don't know. I haven't experienced that part either.
Yeah.
But still, just even if that wasn't the case, and I'm just playing solitaire by my the puzzle of the game is a lot at times. But I absolutely love it. Like it is a top-notch game in my mind. It's a lot of fun. And again, I dig the theme. Like I said, for me, it just requires a little role playing, and that's okay. It's been very eye-opening. So it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, those are some highlights. Been playing Sagrada. Sagrada's a lot of fun. That's a good one. Playing that a lot. But yeah, I mean,
I love that. Very cool.
Yeah, I played Ready Set Bet for the first time.
Oh yeah, did you like that?
Yeah, I actually had a blast. I was not thinking I was going to enjoy it. I had a lot of fun. It's a little bit chaotic.
Yeah,
but
I can see that. I've seen it played, and it looks chaotic.
Yeah, it was fun though. Once I figured how, like, oh, okay, like, I'm just throwing chips on these things and trying to figure out which horse I got it. But it was a lot of fun. Our group made it really fun, and that was what was cool. Is people were having an absolute blast, and we were just laughing. And I was playing with non-board gamers, but one lady in particular, like she goes to Vegas and like she'll gamble a bit. She doesn't, whatever. And so she was a riot to play with because she like knew all of it. And I was like, okay, this is a little bit too real. We're not playing for actual money here, people, but we had a great time. So it was good.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, I don't want to bury the lead because we're also here to talk about like what you are up to in just nerd culture, like what you're experiencing, what's coming up. This I feel like it's not going to be a lot different than what you said last time, because last time we talked about Game Changer board game retreat. I know you came off of that a few weeks ago, maybe like a month ago now. We got mission trips coming up. Like, what is going on the mission side of Love Thy Nerd?
Man, oh man, I am excited about all this. Let's go. Yeah, so I got a trip coming up here. I'm right before PAX, and we'll talk about PAX in a second. I'm actually going to be heading to Missouri to Meeple-a-thon. So the director of board games for Meeple-a-thon, his name's Bill Ivey. Bill actually came on mission to Grand Con to check it out because they're comparable, but he really wants to see how LTN can maybe pour into Meeple-a-thon. So he was just learning about, what we do, right? So he came on mission with LTN at Grand Con, which was fantastic, great time. I'm actually going to go down there right before, so the weekend before PAX, to be able to sit with him and his team and really trying to create more of a local vibe with them. Like they want the people that are on LTN missions to be like in the area. So we're kind of talking, just trying to figure out how we can make that work, which would be awesome. As far as just having people that are local to the area being able to pour in, kind of like a tantrum. We had so many people that were just like close. It's just so nice. And there's a strategy and a plan in that where you can actually like, grow and develop some things, which is really dope. So very much excited for that trip. It's a lot of travel to go there and then turn around in the following weekend. So November 20th through the 24th, we'll be at PAX. And hey, I'm just going to throw this out there because we're talking about it. We need people. Right. We have slots open and we want to go and rock PAX out. So it's going to be fantastic. And so if you have even just got a slight like desire to go and share the good news of Christ with people, just be able to sit down at the table, play games and just meet people in the space they're in, come on mission with us. Like I said, we're going to be there November 20th through the 24th. So if you go to lovethynerd.com/outreach, you're going to be able to find that. Just click PAX and go through the process. This will be my first time at PAX U. So I'm really excited to like actually experience the con in general. But just to serve there, man, like when we go on mission, like just to kind of like, if you watch the Q&A that Luke and I did on Friday, that would be some good information. You can find that in the Christian Board Gamers Facebook group. And so like, a lot more of those answers will unpack, but going on mission with LTN it's not like anything I had ever done in a mission experience, which is what I love about it. It's so outside the box. Yeah, that was a total pun intended, right? But to be able to just sit down with people and just meet them in the space they're in and play a game and have fun and build a relationship and connect. I'm all about relational ministry, and I believe that that's really where Jesus does a lot of work, right? Not that he can't do it in other places, but just being able to sit down and develop these relationships with people. And so to be able to just demo games, play games, hang out, talk, just learn where people are at, man. God does some incredible things in those places, and I've just experienced it even in a short period of time. And so really want to encourage you, PAX U would be a great first trip because you're gonna be surrounded by a lot of people doing this, which is really cool. And just to get that exposure and be able to try something different. So definitely want to encourage you to check that out. So again, lovethynerd.com/outreach, and PAX will be right there. Click that button. Definitely.
PAX is one of my favorites.
Yeah, and I'm excited to go back with you because you're gonna be at PAX. So I'm excited to go.
Let's go
rock another trip with you, and so it's gonna be fire. And again, I'm still learning, right? Like, so this is some of this is so new to me. But my experience has just been surreal. I love being able to sit down. That's the extrovert in me. This is where I don't have to role play. I love just being able to sit down and play games. But even if you are introverted, what a great way to be able to get into those smaller personal spaces, right? Like to be able to sit down at a table. It's like I tell people, like, hey, if you're comfortable teaching a game for 3 to 4 to 5 people, like, these trips are great for you. We'll be working with a number of vendors at PAX. So we'll be with All Play for sure. I wish I had thought to pull the list out in front of me. I can't think of all of them right now. Yeah, Roxley, and then
other ones.
There's 2 other ones that I feel really dumb for not having off on the top of my head, but I can find it while I ramble.
No, you keep going. I'll find them.
You'll find them. Yeah, perfect. Because I was like, why didn't I think to put that on my notes? didn't. And so we were working with other publishers, which is really cool. So you just be demoing games and just, doing some quick teaches and walking through this with people. And so it's
Hootenanny Games and Earthborn.
Yes. I knew it was Earthborn, and I was like, Earthborn's it, but is that the actual name of the company? Because it's also Earthborn Rangers is one of their games.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that the company name though? Hootenanny and Earthborn. Hootenanny is just fun to say.
Yep.
But it's just a great opportunity. And again, it's not super overwhelming. And we like to walk with people, and we'll get you where you need to be, and we'll train you up and do all that fun jazzerific jazz. So that's super cool. And then we've already mentioned it like 15 times in this podcast, but we're talking Tantrum Con. And this is where I got to meet Michael in person. A Synergy Con, Tantrum, a Synergy Con. Yeah, welcome to Synergy Con. Sunday. Yeah.
Tantrum Con.
That needs to happen. Wow, it's a good segue, Luke. Wow, bring us right back in.
Sorry.
So no, you're good. So Tantrum Con, which is February 5th through the 8th. In North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. And actually, this is where I met Michael for the first time in person, which was cool. And that is a phenomenal convention. Man, did I have a great time there. Dude, they do some really cool things. This is going to be one of those conventions where we actually really are just working with the convention hosts, with the Tantrum House, right? And doing hot games and just learning these games and teaching them throughout the day. We kind of just go through cycles and have shifts, and we teach hot games, and it is awesome. It's a really cool playing con. I love it because that's what we get to do. You get to play, you're playing these hot games, but then what's awesome is you teach the hot games, and then the people that you taught, they generally want to play a game with you out on the open gaming floor. But there's already conversation because they see you. It's already like, hey, what are you playing? Like, that's cool. And that you already have these breakdown points where you can start to just engage relationally. And I think that's super cool. Playing cons versus like a PAX U, there's just a different dynamic for sure. I think when you're at like a playing con, you definitely, from a mission standpoint, you definitely are in the trenches a little bit more. You got to get creative, but that's why I love this hot game space, because it just gives us access to so many people from the convention, because people want to come to the hot games. They want to come where the popular games are. And this just opens the avenues for conversation. Last year, I taught so many games. For me, I focused a lot on River of Gold.
Yeah,
I taught River of Gold like almost in my sleep at that point. I taught it so many times, but I played a lot of games with those people that I taught River of Gold with, right? Because they would constantly be like, in Middle Ages, all that. Like, hey, we want to play a game with you. I know, right? Still a great game. Right there behind me. But it's like, it's just a really fun environment. And so I'm really excited about these things. And for me, it's like, I want to help people understand the philosophy of why we go on missions, right? Like why, because I think what happens, if I can just kind of bunny trail us a little bit here, it's not really a bunny trail because we're on topic, which is the opposite of bunny trail. But it's like, I think when we think missions, we think overseas, we think poverty, right? So it's like, well, if I'm going to be on mission, I need to go to Africa and build wells or dig wells, whatever. I'm not a builder. But it's like, or we associate them with like poverty versus like actually being in other spaces where you can go on mission. And philosophically, like, I think there's some stigma, right? Where it's like, hey guys, like, we're going into conventions to reach nerds who maybe have been written off by the church or have written the church off, right? That they have maybe got some preconceived notions about who Jesus is. Maybe their life is fantastic, right? Like I tell people, I'm like, most people that are at board game conventions, they aren't like, I'm so mad I'm here.
Yeah.
I've never run into anyone at a board game convention. It's like, I am not happy that I'm here. What? Like, that's not the case. You're meeting people actually in a space where they're incredibly excited to be there. People that go to conventions, they love games. They want to play games. They want to meet new people. They want to sit down. You're not meeting people in a brokenness, essentially, right? However, we know that there's brokenness. We know that whether they're smiling all day or whatever their situation is, even if they're like the most affluent person or they have any, like, it does not matter. At the end of the day, every one of us needs Jesus. So who's going to these people? right? Who's going to these spaces? And this isn't just true in nerd culture. This is true everywhere, right? Like someone said it to me, and this is where like really things started to unlock as I was even just talking, because obviously, as an LTN staff and fundraising your salary and going through this, you're having a lot of different conversations about nerd culture ministry and why this matters. And I know you guys talk a lot about that on this podcast and other podcasts and all of it. And someone was telling me, he's like, and he used Elon Musk as like an example, which I thought was really interesting. He's like, Elon doesn't need your meal. He doesn't need your money, but he needs Jesus. So who's going to him? Right? Who's sharing the good news of Christ with him? Who's serving him, right? Like who's going to go in and be the hands and feet of Christ? And so it like kind of helped unlock some things conversationally with people, because it's like you got, and I've used this number and I got it from u.gov, where you have 1.5 billion people that have identified as board gamers. That's a fifth of the world's population. Yeah. And it's like, okay, cool. And out of that, and when that's just one portion of nerd culture, right? This doesn't even count video games, which is exponentially more. Doesn't count anime and comics and all the like wrestling, all the areas of nerd culture. And it's like, yeah, we're going to meet people in places that they're actually happy to be in, and yet they still need Jesus, and we want to show them Jesus in a different way. And the church, unfortunately, doesn't necessarily know how to reach nerds. And the fact that I even would say, well, we do this board game ministry and we go on these mission trips and nerd culture ministry and kind of get like looked at funny. To me, it's just an indication that we're really missing some things here. And there's a lot of work to be done. But really, it's like, for me, I'm big on like, what are your passions? What are things that you really just love to do? Awesome. Use that to God's glory. The scripture says in 1 Corinthians 10:31, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all to the glory of God. And I believe very much that includes board gaming, video gaming, comic book reading, anime watching, like all of it. Can we do all these things to the glory of God? And so for me, it's like, yeah, my passion is in board games, and my ultimate passion's in Jesus and others and in board games. Can we use these things to reach people in real ways for Christ? Right? Like, and the crazy thing is I'm kind of a product of this to some degree. Like much of my early discipleship happened at the board game table. Yeah. My pastor and his wife invited me to their house. I had meals with them and their family. And we played the worst game in the history of games, Catan.
Yes. Yes. I was hoping you'd say that. Sorry.
How dare you?
So, no. Yeah. I think the game is flawed.
You said heat wrong.
Yeah. Nah, bro, no. So
no, I don't think that's the worst game ever.
So no, I just did that for dramatic impact. Yep. No, it's one of those things, and I got to be in those spaces with them. I got to see what an actual real functioning marriage looked like. What it looked like to raise children. Got to even have times of prayer and Bible study with them, and all those kind of things. Sorry, you dropped the mic. That was whatever. And so be able to see this and learn and grow from them and be a product of that from a discipleship perspective. I was not really a board gamer at that time. Yeah. Right. And then I had another buddy who invited me to his house, and I started playing Dominion, and I started playing these other games. And then we started doing a church, thing, and we would go and we'd play games. And to me, it's like there's such a space for it that you can use in outreach and in discipleship and evangelism. And I wrote a book, man, called Reclaiming the Table for Jesus. And the whole thing is about how do we use our homes as ministry vehicles, our tables and board games as tools to reach people for Christ. Yeah. Right? Because this is how we build relationships. This is relational ministry. And to me, there's nothing like the table is a sacred space. All over, not just in Christianity, but culturally all over the place. Like the table is a space where, if you think about it, business meetings are happening at tables, right? Like you're sitting down, Lord willing, with your family, and you're having meals together, and it becomes a special location. You invite friends to go out for dinner, and the table is a place where we commune.
Mhm.
Like Jesus, there's two profound tables, and I'm going all over the place. It's gonna be a long podcast today. I'm sorry, but it is. So Jesus, there's two profound tables in the scripture. You have Jesus eating with his disciples, where he got up right before he's about to be turned over, and he gets up and he serves them.
Yeah.
And he washes their feet, and he pours into them, and then he says, "Now, as I have done for you, go and do likewise." That's profound.
Yeah.
That's at the table. Then Jesus sits down and eats with the non-believers, right? He sits down and eats with the sinners, the ones that society has said, these are the least of these. He sits down and he's eating with them, right? And I got to think that, man, Jesus didn't have to like start preaching. They probably started asking him questions.
Yeah.
And then when he's being accosted for eating with them, he defends the fact that he's eating with them. He's like, bro, I didn't come for the healthy. I came for the sick. Like, y'all got to figure it out. Cool.
Yeah.
You go do your thing. Like, I'm here with them. And I would be like, if I'm at that table, I'm like, bro, Jesus, you are the most interesting guy in this room. Like, why are you sitting down with me? Like at this table? Like, I'm going to ask questions.
Yeah.
And I bet in that moment they felt seen and heard and loved in ways that they had not, because they're constantly being outcasted. Man, I believe that is very true in a lot of spaces, but in particular in nerd culture, where we have a lot of people that feel that way. And so to be able to sit down with people and just hear their story and be able to learn who they are. And honestly, like, this is just me. I could sit down and just be like, hey, so how do we get to this table? Right? Like, tell me your story. Like, let's just connect. Let's have this conversation and not have to say anything about myself. I could just keep asking them questions continuously. Right? At some point in the conversation, they're going to be like, well, tell me about you. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm here with Love Thy Nerd. This is what we do. This is who I am. They're now going to find out that I'm a Christian. Here's the thing. If this is so important, and it's very, very important to me, and it should be important to all of us, when they walk away from that table, even if they're diametrically opposed to Christianity, if I have spent the last hour, 2 hours, or even 10 minutes just investing in them and hearing their story, what they're not likely to do in good conscience is walk away and be like, that guy was a jerk. All he wanted to do was know about my life and ask me questions about the things that I'm doing. That Christian, right? That's not the case. Most people are going to be like, man, that was different. Like, this dude was invested in my life. He actually was like asking me all sorts of questions, and he didn't bash me over the head with the Bible. He didn't like beat me up scripturally. He actually like cared to ask me who I am, what I do. And I'm going to use this as an example. And I mean, it is what it is. Like, and I ask people this all the time. I'm like, okay, I ask my Christian friends this often because I think it's a pivotal and important question in our day and age. I was like, okay, you're sitting down at this coffee shop, and a very obvious man walks in wearing a dress. What is your first inclination? It's a question. It's a real question. Okay. And so what's your first inclination? And I'm not necessarily asking you guys to answer anything. I'm just going to answer it for you. Okay. So here's what happens. A lot of times the first inclination is, that's silly. There's like judgment. Sure. Like, I can't believe they do that. That's crazy. That's wild. And I challenged this. I said, my first inclination is they didn't just wake up that one day and just put a dress on. There's a story. Right. So my inclination is that I want to know the story. How did that person get to that place? Right. How did they get there? And so who's going to sit down with them and actually ask them? Because if my first inclination is, oh, that person's crazy, that person's this, blah, 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 I start writing their story. You see what I'm saying? This is a profound difference. Yeah. I start writing it. And therefore, I'm walking in all sorts of presuppositions, and I know nothing about that individual. How is that going to translate into the love of Christ and being able to sit down and actually have a real heartfelt conversation that God may use down the line to transform someone's life? I don't want to write that story. What I want to do is I want to learn that story. I want to hear from them, right? And that's not me just sitting down and be like, so how do you become a dude in a dress? Like, that's not how you start that conversation, right? Like,
no, you meet them at the table, you play a game,
correct?
You have coffee, you
100%
sit down and just start chatting.
Build.
Yeah.
100%. And it's real. I'm genuinely like, I'm here. I want to talk. It's not because at the other end, I want to fix them. That's not my job. That's not it at all. It's just, I'm really just getting to the foundation part of the heart, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's my heart in those situations? It doesn't even, I mean, that's a crass example. That's a large obvious, but it could be anything, right? What's your heart towards that homeless person? What's your heart towards that person that's clearly strung out on drugs? What's your heart? Like, that's the question. What's our heart posture in this, man? And so, like, for me, this has just been, I mean, over the years, as I've grown in Christ, just like a profound journey for me to be like, man, people's stories matter and they matter to God. And I want to be able to hear and learn their story far before I ever get into corrective measure, right? Because I don't want, if someone wrote my story years ago when I was all lost in drugs and living out of my car and doing all that, if they're writing my story and writing me off versus the person that actually loved me enough to share the hard truths through relational context. It wasn't the first conversation we had, let's put it that way. But when they finally started doing that, God started working on my heart. But that I trusted the person because we had built relationship. And then they were like, hey, PS, and we had the hard conversation, which at first I did not respond well. But to me, it's like that matters. If he had written my story and just been like, that dude's a loser and he'll always be a loser, he's out here doing blah, blah, blah. My life looks radically different.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, that was a total, so you could edit all that out if you want post-production.
No, that's the pulse, man. We don't edit anything.
Yeah. That's like, we're never going to edit out a good word like that, dude.
Yeah. Joe bringing the heat tonight.
It's just I'm passionate about it, man. Because
it's obvious, man. It's great.
Yeah, I'm trying not to get overly emotional because I can get all weepy because that's who I am. I'm definitely emotive, but it's just I want to see us as the body of Christ get serious about relationship and allowing Christ to make the difference. Yeah. Right? Like, he is the transformer of lives. I will never argue anyone into the kingdom of God. I'll never argue anyone into right thinking, and I'll never argue anyone into right living. All I can do is walk alongside people, share the love of Christ, walk with them, serve, right? Wash their feet. Paul is profound in this. This will be the last thing I'll say about it. Paul, I think, is he's very big here, and this is 1 Corinthians 5, and this is really my philosophy of ministry. If I had to break it down, Paul says, "What business do I have judging the outsider? Does God not judge the outsider?" But then he turns his attention to the church, and he says, "But in here, like, we judge one another." And what he's saying is we hold one another accountable. And this is a profound truth. The outsider does not know the standard. They don't proclaim to know the standard. So why am I holding them to the standard? But inside the church, you proclaim to know the standard. Therefore, I'm going to hold you to the standard by which you proclaim. Paul literally starts that piece there, and he says, when I started writing to you about the sexually immoral, I was not talking about the non-believer. He said, I was talking about y'all. When I wrote, he said, I wrote in my first letter, which now we know there's like a first Corinthians, right? There's a letter before that. But it's like, he literally like comes in and he's like, when I told you to not hang out with those people and associate with them, he's like, I wasn't talking about the world. I was talking about the church. And then he puts it in the context. We know the Corinthian church. We know that there was that man and his sleeping with his dad's wife and all that jazzerific jazz, but Paul is being very specific here. And he literally was like, what business do I have judging them out here? Because again, they don't know the standard. So what's my role to the outsider is to point to the standard, right? I point to the standard. Inside the church, I hold to the standard. Right? This is profound. And we've got it on its head. So if you want to be a really good street preacher, if you're listening to this and you're a street preacher, focus your attention on the church. Because when you study the prophets, they went to the people of God and they said, repent, 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 study Jesus. Who is he harsh with? He's harsh with the religious leaders, with those who profess to know the standard. But when he turns his heart towards the crowd, he is compassionate. He shares a different message. He tells the Pharisees that they're a bunch of brood of vipers and all this jazz, right? Like there's more of a doom and gloom, like desolation is coming upon you. But when he turns to the crowds, he's like, blessed are the poor in spirit, for they will inherit the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
completely different. Man, sorry, total soapbox. but this stuff matters, man. It matters exponentially. And this is just something for me. Like I just want to be an example of what it means to love as Christ loved, to live as he lived, as much as I possibly can. And I am ever growing, and I will not pretend to have all this figured out. I just feel like we have really done some damage in this area, and we have to regain some territory as the church, as we dig into relational ministry and really meet people where they're at. So
and that's
I'm done. You guys have a great night.
That's so critical for thinking about like having a mindset of missions and the missions, the mission goal that LTN has, and the reason for going to these conferences, and not only saying like, these are the things we're going to do. We're going to play games. We're going to teach people how to play games. We're going to hang out with people how to play a game, and all that stuff. But like, this is where you need to have your heart, and this is the kind of mindset you want to have going into it, because otherwise it's going to be lost. The purpose and the reason for going is going to be lost if you're not focused in there. Because it's really easy to get distracted with a lot of really awesome board games and fun hang times. But you want to be on the lookout for the moments and for the people, and have the heart to be there for that.
Absolutely. 100%.
And it's super evident that you're doing what you love, and you're exactly where you need to be. And your passion and your love for wanting to share this with your fellow gamers, man. And I've seen it firsthand. It's awesome. I love hanging out with you at conventions specifically. And you're in the zone. Don't need a social battery. You're fully charged. Don't need to spend $5 to just leave the house.
Well, it's in that cozy game. It's by the grace of God that I go. There's no question. Again, when things click, they click, man. And I just, like I said, really want to see us regain some territory here. And I don't say that in the overly charismatic way. I just mean like, dude, we have botched some relational issues.
Oh
here.
yeah, man.
But they're fixable. Yeah. Right. And I think that God is using the board game space in general and this missions and LTN to open people's eyes to it.
Yeah.
Man, Will Meadows from Tantrum. He just shared in the Christian Board Gamers group like an article that he was in, and the article was titled "Parents Turn to Board Games," right? Because they're trying to find healthy alternatives. I'm butchering the title, but from screen time, and bring their families back together. Reclaiming the table, man. Like bring them out of the screens and sit down and play. I think that God is like getting set and has been preparing the way for quite a while to create a massive ripple effect through gaming, and not just board gaming, but video gaming and other things. I'm seeing all sorts of stuff pop up where I'm like, I know I'm in it now, but geesh, there's stuff just popping up everywhere. I've got people that are non-gamers are like, hey, I found this article on board gaming. I thought you might be interested in it. And I'm like, are you interested in it? And they're like, I never thought I would be, but man, like I'm actually looking forward to playing a game. I'm seeing this happen all over the place, man.
I love it.
It's super cool.
I'm seeing it too. It's really encouraging. It's really cool to see. And it's a tool to use. Bring people around the table, break bread, build relationships. That's why I love doing it too.
Yeah.
So,
and I also love going on trips with you, Luke. So, and hanging out. And Michael, you
That's
as well.
What I was fishing for.
Only have one under the belt. Yeah.
Now we can end the podcast.
I just wanted to ditto that. So man, let's go. Missions, PAX U. Get signed up, get plugged in. We need some people on that trip, and also Tantrum Con. Man, would love to see some of y'all out on. I just want to meet new people and serve Jesus with y'all. So let's get it.
Let's do it.
Amen.
We'll see you in Philadelphia.
Yes,
at PAX. So, all right, I'm gonna land this plane because we've I think this is the longest Pulse episode ever. So if you made it to the end of this episode, you win.
Setting records.
Episode ever. And so here we go. Thank you all for joining us on this super long episode of The Pulse. Pleasure having Joe. Thank you for being here, man. If you want to join us in all this fun and you want to tell us what you are reading, watching, playing, and experiencing, please feel free to join us on our Discord, lovethynerd.com/Discord, or find us on Facebook. Just search Love Thy Nerd Community on Facebook, and you can drop what you're reading, watching, playing, and experiencing in the chat. We'd love to hear that. Also, we've got a game night coming up. First one ever, first one in a long time. Game night online in our Discord. So go on over to the Discord, join our community there on the 31st. Yes, that is Halloween. If you're home alone on Halloween and have nothing to do, Michael's pointing at himself for our audio listeners. We're having a game night. We got some people. I know one guy in particular who's helping head this up. He is running some Halo Infinite, most likely. Gonna play some FPS. And I know a lot of people like Matt and Bubba want to start bringing college football to the table. And yeah, I want to play Lego Party. If you have Lego Party on the Switch, I want to play Lego Party. Okay, I'm not ashamed. That game is amazing. But if you want to, again, gather around the digital table, I'll just call it that. Play some games with people in your community. Meet people like-minded people that also love nerdy things. Come out on October 31st. Would love to play some games with you there. If you're listening to this, catch our video and my mustache on the YouTubes. And if you're watching us and you get distracted because you're driving, don't do that. Listen to us on Spotify or on Apple. Don't watch TV while you're driving. And if you're interested in partnering with us, again, come with us on a mission trip. PAX is coming up. Tantrum Con is right around the corner, believe it or not. And there's many others. If you're in the Indianapolis area, we'd love to have you come out to Gen Con. So head on over to lovethynerd.com/outreach if you want to sign up for one of those or get more information there, or go to lovethynerd.com/partner for other ways to partner, like financially and through prayer and all that good stuff. Thank you again for being here. I've been your host, Luke.
And Michael.
And we have been joined by the one and only Joey Bag of Donuts, according to my screen right here.
Joey Bragg of Donuts.
Joe, tune in next podcast to figure out that. Joe, thanks for being here, man.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been a blast.
Catch y'all next time. Bye.